I think I know someone who needs to hear this. It's you.
Yeah, you. Welcome back to Conversations with the Infinite Guidance. Slight round of applause. You know, I'm always going to be my own hype man. I thank you all for tuning in with me today. This eclipse season turned out to be a whirlwind. Like, whoa. Like, WTF. I mean, let me just say this. The energy came in real smooth, like a sunny day. And then it was like if you sit in the same spot for too long, all of a sudden you're just so hot you can barely bear it. Like, it's crazy. That's how I felt about this energy. I felt it. It felt good at first because I was so ready for a transformation period that I kind of just dove head first. And then once that energy started to rock the boat, I had to lay down. I literally had to lay down because it just started to feel like my world was spinning. And I couldn't believe that the ending of this current ego death was going to hit me so hard. This total lunar eclipse, full moon in Pisces, affected the North Node in Pisces, and also Saturn, that is just retrograded back into Pisces. Now, we all know that Saturn is Father Time. Saturn is definitely the planet of discipline, restriction, and order. And when Saturn retrograded back into Pisces from Aries, we were given the opportunity, or currently given the opportunity, to revisit areas of our life that we should have disciplined, maybe and didn't discipline when we had the opportunity. And in doing so, I realized that I had allowed so much access to me in my past that it was muddying my future. It made me realize that the things, the people, the places, the energetic fields, just the conversations, everything that I had let access me no longer served me. And I had to find a way to release all of this. So the total lunar eclipse occurred on September 7th through the 9th. That was the heaviest, when it was at its peak. When you're dealing with an eclipse and a full moon, you're really dealing with it for about, anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. Those first 2 weeks are going to be extremely intense. And then the lasting effect of it is really kind of what hits people. And I kind of beat myself up about not getting the message out on time, but this is the perfect time because what I've learned is time is not linear the same way healing is not linear. You have to do things when that urge becomes so incessant that you can't turn away from what you know you're supposed to be doing. And this is something that I know in my heart that I'm supposed to be doing. I know I'm supposed to be giving channel messages. I know I'm supposed to be giving you guys energetic updates. I know that I'm supposed to be following the energetic patterns of what's around us, not just on earth, but what's in the cosmos, because we live in a system that has formulated itself to be the matrix. It has caused human nature to ignore what was there before what has been created. Now, I'm going to go back and I'm going to remind you all, a full moon means release. Full moons mean release. The sign of Pisces illuminates the depth of illusions, dreams, unrealistic ideals, and goals. And we're going to date all of these ideals that go back to 2007, which was 18 years ago, and 2016, which was 9 years ago. Now check those dates, check around the dates of September of 2007, September 2016, and see where you were in your own life. I know for me, in both of those time periods, I was experiencing breakups. I was going through breakups in relationships that no longer served me. And at that moment, I was having such an ego death at 20. Maybe I was 19, I had just turned 20, no, I take that back. Maybe I was 18, just turned 19. I wasn't ready to let go of who I thought I was supposed to be because I wasn't ready to face who I actually was. And in that time frame, I'm pushing forward to see what has come of now. Who you are is inevitable. Only you can slow down your own process or stop your own show. Because the divine has already written, that's what they mean when they say it's written. The divine has already ordained your purpose that is forged through fire. When you're born, your purpose is written. Your death date is set. There's no changing that. That's why people call on fate, because fate is what it is. Our Creator makes no mistakes. The God that I serve makes no mistakes. But it is up to us when we incarnate into these bodies, into our purpose, for us to find the depth of what is happening in our life and put together the pieces of the puzzle and undo the Rubik's Cube so you can follow the light. Now, like I said, we had a full moon. That's release. The full moon was in Pisces. That is depth of illusions, dreams, unrealism, ideologies, goals that no longer serve you. So you need to release all of those things in its totality. It's hard. None of it's easy, because the person that we think we are is typically completely opposite of who we actually are. And that realization and actualization takes so much from a person that some people actually die with their ego and don't come back from it, instead of having an ego death. You have two options. You can die with your ego, or you can have an ego death. But just know, through the blood, you're born again. That is in physicality and actuality, spiritually and literally. Before things occur in the physical, things occur in the spirit. It is up to us on this journey to be able to transmute that energy. And it takes a lot of work, and most people are not willing to go that deep, because once you go below a certain plate below the surface, you feel everything, and it's uncomfortable. Sometimes you have to cry it out. Sometimes you have to just lay there, and it's debilitating. And that's where a lot of people turn to vices. And vices are unhealthy. That is why your spiritual body should be cared for and nurtured and taken to the utmost respect, taken very seriously and respected. Because if you don't respect your spirit body, then you won't respect your physical body. And if you're not respecting your physical body, then you won't respect the physical nature of the human experience, which causes destruction. So, when you have a lunar eclipse, that means the earth is moving directly between the sun and the moon. The earth's shadow completely covers the moon. Now, when you see the alignment, that is when the sun, the earth, and the moon line up. Although the earth's shadow is blocking the moon, there's still a certain alignment that happens there. And this was a blood moon. Blood moon typically occurs in September. You're going to get it. It's in like a red color, and it's from the sun partly blocking, but still a little of that light illuminates through, and that's how you get that red moon. It's very significant. A lunar eclipse is a full moon supercharged, so the effects are extremely strong. They're much stronger than your average full moon. That's why I say those effects took me on like a roller coaster, a rush of a roller coaster, because I couldn't gather the way that I'm used to gathering. But that came from me not wanting to let go of the things that I knew I had to let go of. And that's what I'm trying to explain and convey to you. You have to let go. You have to let go of the illusion. You have to let go of the deception. You have to respect the fact that a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces is requiring you to release the culminations, the revelations, and the major endings. So when you recognize something, when you recognize that a big energy has culminated in your life, when you recognize a revelation in your life, when you recognize a major ending in your life, recognition comes from also visualization. But after those steps have been taken, you have to release. And most people do not either know how to release or want to release, because it takes work. And what one takes, one must put back. So when you release these energies and these things in your life, even in the physical, something will be replaced with it. But that is part of the unknown. And many people are not comfortable with things that are unknown. So I'm going to go into another subject, because I want to also, I've given part of the technicalities as the part one. We're going to go into part two, into specifics of what I felt during this full moon, lunar eclipse in Pisces. So what was highlighted for me, and I think for many of us, but maybe I'm one of the only ones that was able to really channel this message, and it did take me a couple of days because I had to pay attention to what was around me. And what I have come to is what we're seeing is the fall of the divine masculine. And this isn't a fall as in he can't get back up. This is a fall as in a major ego death for the divine masculine. Many masculines identify their status in their families, in life, and just on earth with monetary funds, with how they can make money, how they can accumulate money, how they can multiply money. However, the masculine is to equate his ability to be of service to the divine feminine, because she is the physical proof of God in this reality. She is his multiplier, not his boss or his job. And the matrix has eluded a false God while building a tower, literally and physically, in the life of the divine masculine. An illusion of false service, it leaves the divine feminine without, to where her heart aches. She feels discarded, dismissed, undermined. And the masculine is draining his life force with vices. You all know what vices do, whether it's smoking, drinking, sex, anything of that nature. Those are vices. And in draining your life force, you try to find something used as a vice to replace the one thing that the divine feminine is the only fit for. The feminine and the masculine are the yin and the yang, the sun and the moon, the water and the earth, the air and the fire, the feminine and the masculine. It is an infinite bond that it cannot be broken. Both aspects lie within both of us. And without the one or the other feels either broken, without, sad, like something's missing in their life. And the society that we live in is built on self-sustaining reality. And the truth is, there's no way for the masculine to exist without his feminine. And the feminine has learned to exist without her masculine, but she doesn't want to. She's been forced to because it isn't safe to be a woman in this world. It's a really sad place and a space that humanity has come to, unfortunately. But it's like everything is made to replace us. Everything is made to negate our place in life. Everything is made to uplift patriarchy and demean the matriarchy. That's why it's important to know God and respect the goddess. And the responsibility of the goddess is she really must hold space for herself, because that is in refusal to let men access her in waiting. And even I had that problem before. It's like, I've known my waiting periods were sacred, and I know when God has me in the secret place. I know when my angels are around me. I know when I feel the energy of my ancestors. I know when I'm in a deep, deep protection phase. But because I have not really been connected to my energy body and my spirit body at the same time, I compartmentalize and I go out and I'll dabble. When you dabble, you muddy your water when God wants the feminine to keep her waters pure and clean. That is a requirement. It's part of the obedience. And when you do not respect oneself, you are not respecting the God in you. You cannot just let men access you that have no part to play in your future, because then it becomes karmic, which adds to the work that you have to do on yourself. The waiting period is typically and almost always the most divine and vulnerable stage for the divine feminine, and the lack of respect for her duty in that waiting period will send her to exile of self, which leads to destruction, self-destruction. That's why some men will watch a woman self-sabotage, even lead her to self-sabotaging, because that in turn gives him the power over her. We as the divine feminine are the gatekeepers, so keep the gate and hold space by guarding your space. with your life. And that is for the preservation of self. Anything less is self-betrayal, which essentially is betrayal of God. I say that once again. Betrayal of self is betrayal of God, because we are not our own, and we must honor that. We must honor that. So I want to go ahead and go over a quote, 1 Corinthians 31. And this verse stood out to me because a lot of times society has taught us to matchmake at a very young age before we know ourselves. Finding yourself takes you years of perseverance, years of prophecy, years of patience. And when you rush into a relationship, whether it's in your teenage years, your 20s, or your 30s, and you don't give yourself the respective space to learn yourself, it's dangerous, because getting caught up in someone else's mold doesn't hold space for your own. So you essentially give away yourself, and then you're never in the care of self, because you're always caring for someone else. And the times of singlehood should be respected the same way people respect marriage. It all should be sacred, because God makes no mistakes, and all timing is allotted for each individual to find what they need to find and piece together what needs to be pieced together in divine timing. So here in 1 Corinthians 7:31, this is from the NIV, it states, "What I mean, brothers and sisters, is that time is short. From now on, those who have wives should live as if they do not, those who mourn as if they did not, those who are happy as if they were not, those who buy something as if it were not theirs to keep, those who use the things of the world as if it's not engrossed in them. For this world in its present form is passing away." And I bless the word of the Lord. What we are currently experiencing with Saturn retrograding in Pisces, you can go back, find out where that discipline needs to be structured, because Pisces goes deep, right? Then we have the North Node in Pisces. We can foresee what is the future looking like. For me, my North Node is in Pisces. It's a lot of Piscean energy. I am a Scorpio rising. When you have a lot of Pisces in your chart, or when you have a little bit of Pisces in your chart, it doesn't matter. Pisces in the zodiac represents all 12 of the signs. So it's important to figure out where exactly is the Pisces in my chart to see how this affects me. But for the houses, the house is the energy. Where you are, or where that house falls in your chart, is the character you're playing in that house. So there's an energy and there's a role, a duty, and you have to find those and put them together and see how that works for oneself. I know I have Pisces in the 5th house, so I know that there's a lot of things surrounded around my relationships, my love life, my familial life, that I have to let die, because the 3D is dead. The old world is dead. We are walking into a new earth, and the new leaders of earth are here and ready to rise. We have risen. We have risen from the ashes. We are the phoenix that has risen from the ashes, and it is important to respect that. The matrix is dead. That's why all you see on the media are distractions. And this is a call to tune into yourself. Follow the North Node. Adhere to the energetic signs of the moon. Adhere to the energetic signs of the moon. We don't worship anything but our God. But things are put in place for us to make it through this life. And don't ever let anyone tell you what you believe is wrong. If you are a truth seeker, seek the truth. Opinions will fly. Gossip will flare. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain. The truth will always be there. Now, I thank you so much for tuning in with me. This was a little bit longer of an episode, but I do think that the message that I gave today, I pray that it resonates with you. This is straight information channeled, also mixed in with my life experience. And I really want to see the vibration of the collective to continue to raise. I'm already seeing it. I'm already feeling it. And yes, it's been rough, but let those egos die, or die with your ego. You choose, because when you come here, although you have your purpose, you also are born with free will, and only you can make that choice. So thank you once again for tuning in with me. This is the Infinite Guidance checking out. Go in peace. Ashe.